That's it. Taking this thing so long to start, man. Dang. What the fuck ain't starting, man? And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PSB Summer Invitational as we bring you live coverage here from the Kyle Moore PSB Bracket Championship. This matchup features the Northwest Blazers Black taking on EOTO Black. You can see we're already underway. That ball is going to be knocked out of bounds. It's a 3-0 ball game in favor of EOTO Black here early on. I'm Marcus Burnett. I'll be joined by J.L. Hemingway shortly. We appreciate you joining us here on Prospects Nation TV, powered by the SUV, as we bring you more summer invitational action. This is the first or the second championship webcast here of the day. A little bit of miscommunication there. That's going to be a turnover for Coach Huffman's EOTO team. So the ball back over to Northwest Blazers Black, a team that has definitely caught some attention. Had some attention coming into this event, but have still impressed with the way they've been able to play. Solid team ball, well coached. Classy acts on and off the court. As with both of these programs. That ball's out of bounds. Last touch by EOTO. Possession will stay with the Northwest Blazers. Haley Turner going to kick it out for the elbow jumper. That shot's off the mark there by Haddon. Northwest Blazers still with the ball. Step back jumper, bounces around and goes down there. That shot knocked down by number 2, Lindsey Wilson. So Wilson's bucket is going to tie the ball game at 3 points. That shot off the mark there by Ashley Parker. That shot definitely an anomaly. She knocks down that shot consistently, a little off the mark there. She's going to get a breather. Cluster of substitutions in for EOTO. We'll get you acclimated with those young ladies in our next stop in the action. Meanwhile, 3-3 ball game here early on. Just 13 minutes left here in the first half. Knifing through the defense there. Drawing the foul is going to be Haley Turner. That's going to send her to the free throw line to shoot 2. Some of the substitutions in for EOTO. Number 44, Hope Forrester. Number 22, Autumn Sizemore. Number 20, Lyrica Holloman. Brianna Locke just remained in the game. And then last but not least, number 11, Jessica Storr. Into the game for the Northwest Blazers, number 1, Emily Maldonado. Offensive rebound there by the Blazers. They currently have a 4-3 advantage, trying to add to it. Getting her second trip to the free throw line in as many possessions is going to be number 50, Haley Turner. Turner splashes the first one, making it a 5-3 ball game. So that trip to the charity stripe makes it 6-3 in favor of the Northwest Blazers. EOTO has it. They've got fresh legs in the game, although everybody's relatively fresh given this game just starting, or as fresh as you can be given this July live period, the number of games these young ladies have to play over the course of a few days. But they've got a bevy of college coaches here on hand to be able to display their talents. You see number 11, Jessica Storr, fouled there. She'll go to the line to shoot too. Storr out of Eagles Landing High School. Checking into the game for the Blazers black, number 45, Shield Jessica.
Sit between defenders. Sit between defenders.
Storr good on the first free throw. Knocks down the second as well. We've got a 6-5 ball game. Still in favor of the Northwest Blazers black. Deep two-pointer, count it there. It doesn't take, that was actually Madison Pollock who knocked down that shot. So Pollock makes it a 3-point advantage for the Blazers. The ball movement being shown by the Blazers so far. Both of these teams do a good job moving the ball. It's going to be fun to watch the chess match. We see another three-pointer knocked down there by Lindsey Wilson. That's her second three-pointer of the game. This one making it a 5-11 advantage in favor of the Northwest Blazers. Definitely representing their region of the country well here thus far in the Summer Invitational. Going to have a traveling violation that's going to go against Holloman of EOTO. Couple substitutions being made on both sides. We've got 11 minutes and 14 seconds left to play here in the first half. 11-5 ball game in favor of the Blazers. Ball's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be last touched by Jordan Bozel of the Blazers. Pamela Johnson will bring it up. Coach Ken Huffman still trying to get his EOTO team going. There's Parker with it up top. Going to hand it back off to Holloman. One guarding one there. As Holloman's guarded by Maldonado of the Blazers. The patience being shown by EOTO as well as good defense by the Blazers. Here's Staples. Staples with the pass inside. It's going to result in a bucket, making it a 7-11 ball game. They're looking inside. That pass nearly stolen, but they are able to pick up the pieces. Nice pass ahead, Parker. Parker had that pass intended for Gant, but Maldonado got a hand on it. As both teams playing hot potato of sorts right now. Ball's going to be last touch there by Madison Pollock, so it will stay with EOTO. Back into the game for the Blazers, number 23, Isabel Haddon, number 22, Jill Townsend, as well as number 50, Haley Turner, back into the game. Another steal there for the Blazers. Here's Maldonado. They've got numbers. Unable to capitalize there. It's going to be last touch by EOTO, so possession will remain with the Blazers. Turner's got it. Going to take a free throw line jumper. Gets the bounce. Haley Turner with a good start to this game so far. She's already got a few trips to the free throw line. There we see her knocking down the jumper. EOTO still trying to get things going on the offensive end. Got to give the Blazers credit for the defense they played up to this point, as they get yet another steal. Maldonado going to give it right back. And cashing in on the pass is Jill Townsend with a chance for the three-point play the hard way. As we see 4 players coming into the game for EOTO. Coach Huffman, he's been liberal with his substitutions so far early on in this game. He subs regularly, so that's not, too much of a departure from the norm, but definitely trying to invigorate the team a little bit. Not that it's a lack of energy, but just a lack of productivity on the offensive end. Part of that due to the Northwest Blazers defense, but there with a nice move, a finish. Could have been an and one there, not called though, but a bucket good there for Lyrica Holloman. That makes it a 16-9 ball game. We're going to have a traveling violation, so EOTO was able to force a turnover on the defensive end. That turnover's been an area where Northwest Blazers have had the advantage so far up to this point. Coming back into the game for the Blazers, number 2, Lindsey Wilson. It's Holloman to bring it up. Holloman going to kick it out. That's a good-looking three-point shot on the way. And it reflects on the scoreboard. That one knocked down by number 22, Autumn Sizemore. Now we're seeing the momentum slowly shift to EOTO a little bit, as they've been able to get a couple buckets together. They get another turnover there. Holloman loses it for a second. Both teams go to the deck to get it. We're going to have a jump ball. I believe it's our first jump ball of the game. Possession will stay with EOTO. We've got a Prospects Nation TV colleague and Chris Watkins joining us on the mic now. Chris, liking this game so far, just the styles of these teams. You see a lot of fast and up and down teams throughout the PSB circuit. These teams a little bit different in their methodology, their pieces, and how they approach the game.
Yeah, you even got the Blazers have actually, 2 possessions ago, were playing a 1-3-1 when Sizemore hit that 3 at the top of the key. So they're changing it up each time down the floor. I think that's why EOTO has been struggling to get going early.
You're right on the money with that. To EOTO's credit, they only trail by 4 now, but they've made sure that they haven't had additional mistakes that really give the Blazers more momentum. They've been patient, kind of surveying the different switches that they've been seeing on defense. Holloman looking to inbound it. EOTO was doing good, avoiding turnovers for a little bit of a stretch. Here they have a virtual turnover. A little bit of miscommunication on the pass, so ball goes back over to Northwest Blazers. We've got some good shooters here in this matchup, Chris.
Yeah, definitely both squads got a chance to watch the Blazers yesterday afternoon. Like you said earlier in the broadcast, they really have been holding their own down here all weekend.
Holding her own on the inside there, getting the rebound and the putback. Shield Jessica. She makes it a 6-point advantage for the Blazers. That shot off the mark by Storr. That pass out of bounds. It was intended for Lindsey Wilson. One thing about it, Coach Huffman is going to keep his players' legs fresh.
I think one thing that might lead to some of the nerves that some of these players are having, early in this game, they've got almost 40 coaches sitting on the baseline down here and over on the side. Once you see the Blazers down here with the zone defense again.
Yeah, being nervous initially because of the number of coaches that are in a building is a pretty good problem to have when you talk about exposure. And we've seen both teams continue to kind of settle down as time goes on, but it's been a great row of coaches here throughout the entire PSB Summer Invitational. 6-point advantage for the Blazers. Maldonado comes up with another steal. Pamela Johnson trying to do her best pest impression there. Maldonado not giving up on the play, but it's going to be off of her fingertips. Ball back over to EOTO with 6 minutes, 28 seconds left to play here in the first half.
Seems here the last 2 minutes we've had about 5 or 6 of those possessions where it's just bouncing off and rolling out of bounds.
Yeah. Very true. I think, a big part of that has been how hard both teams are playing, because, when you look at these teams, both of them well coached. Neither team is a sloppy team by any stretch. Both teams just playing hard and still getting a feel for it on the offensive end. Strong rebound inside there by Alexis Gannon. She gets the defenders off of her. Johnson with it now. Here's Staples. Staples going to try a three-pointer. That shot's no good. Parker with the offensive rebound, and it's made good there. And number 15, Carly Bearden.
That might get her going here. She's been in that high post versus zone. They're doing such a good job of covering her. It's hard for her to get looks, and she's probably their offensive output-wise most games. She's generally their leading scorer.
Step in the right direction there, as you mentioned, on their last possession, brings EOTO to within 4. And, if you're Coach Ken Huffman, you have to be able to see the glass as half full, because even though you really haven't been able to get rolling on all cylinders, it's still just a 4-point ball game, and your team is going to get better as the course of the game goes on. Staples to Bearden. Bearden gets it to Cutting Parker. Back out top. Parker hasn't found it from outside just yet. That shot on the mark won't go. EOTO attacking the offensive glass, and it's going to result in a trip to the free throw line by Gant. You see Gant doesn't mind crashing the boards for EOTO at all.
And that's what you need in a game like this with being so low scoring. That extra 2 points, that extra offensive rebound and putback can end up being the game at the end. Yep. Free throw shooting, I think, is going to play a big role in this game in the second half.
Jordan Basil checks back into the game. Productive trip to the free throw line there for Gant. And it's a 2-point ball game in favor of the Blazers. EOTO with a little pressure. Pressure continues, in need of a lifeline there. Finds one, but good defense by EOTO as Madeline Smith had nowhere to go there on that shot. Coach Huffman urges Pamela Johnson to slow it down. EOTO can potentially tie the game or take the lead here. Bearden wants it, calls for it. It's going to be knocked away. Good defense there by Basil. Maldonado comes up with it. A little bit too unselfish there on that play, as Parker has a steal but has it knocked away from her. Possession will stay with EOTO.
It's 2 back-to-back possessions on the defensive end there with Parker. The one before, when they were zone trapping, she rotated over. Right there, she made a play with her hand as well. It's one of those, when you're in the back of the press, you've got to be able as a defender to slow them down. You can't just run up and commit where they're just going to drop it off for a layup on the other side.
We got a 2-point ball game. Knew going into this one it would be a close one. And so far, the first half has definitely been a reflection of that. We appreciate you joining us here on Prospects Nation TV. Marcus Burnett, joined by Chris Watkins. Locke gets it over to Holloman. Holloman with the floater. Too strong off the glass. Rebound brought in there by Isabel Haddon.
When you've got this second unit for EOTO in, Locke's got to look to be the go-to scorer. She's going to need to put her head down and get to the rim, score around in the post.
That's possession going to stay with the Blazers. Just getting it in the nick of time, and just over the outstretched arm of Locke. It's cashed in by Townsend. She can get a 3-point play the hard way here. neither team really able to take the momentum and run away with it. It was EOTO that kind of sputtered out of the gate, but was still within striking distance and remains in striking distance. And the Blazers have, seen EOTO kind of shift the momentum, but regained it at different times throughout this first half. So close to a stalemate up to this point, but trying to change that. Her third three-pointer of the first half, Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah, it's one of those, if you're EOTO, you don't want to let this start to get away here late in the half, the last 3 minutes. They're doing a lot of their dribble drive action versus this zone. That's where they're having some issues, because when they try to come up with a handoff, there's generally another Blazer defender waiting right there for them.
Here's Storr. Storr going to be fouled on the play. And think if you're EOTO, you have to be able to use Storr, Pamela Johnson, Holloman. They have to be able to penetrate and attack some of these creases and be able to kick it out to your Sizemores, your Locks, your Beardens, your Parker. Now, that's easier said than done with the way the Blazers have switched things up and really been able to play well on the defensive end. But I think that's going to be a key to their success here in this game. Good-looking shot there, middle of the lane. Townsend has got the last 4 points for the Blazers. We appreciate you joining us here on Prospects Nation TV. Powered by the SUV, we'll have a couple more championship webcasts throughout the course of the day. So be sure to stick with us. I'm joined by Chris Watkins, who does a great job with our Prospects Nation TV recaps. I'm sure you've been able to see those, showing some of the best highlights from the action from all of the PSB events. We're about ready to resume play from the timeout. We've got 2 minutes, 26 seconds left to play here in the first half. 9-point advantage for the Blazers. If you're EOTO, you want to make sure you respond here. As you mentioned, Chris, they do not want to let the Blazers pull away here at the end of the first half.
You know, one of the things you're doing when you're a coach in a situation like this, it's almost like chess. You're hoping each possession, you want to break it down. And each time you come down, we got a foul here on the floor. But you don't want it to get away. You know, you want to look, all right, we're down right here. We're down 9. If we get an easy bucket at 7, you know, we might hit a 3, we can get it down to 4. And you want to walk into halftime on a positive note.
Lock with the rebound. They get a stop there. Let's see what positive note they can drum up on the offensive end, but there you have another EOTO turnover. And neither one of these teams is the type of team you want to have, careless turnovers with. They both can make you pay on the offensive end. With as many turnovers as EOTO has had and with the way they've, kind of been in the doldrums offensively, for them to still be here in striking distance, I think says a lot about how they played this first half, because really I'd probably say it's only been at about 60% on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for them on the offensive end, but a lot of that's not to their discredit. It's to the credit of what the Blazers have been doing.
Yeah.
They play multiple defenses. They show 1-3-1 for one possession. They got 2-3 zone where they're matching up. They've also played man-to-man. So it's hard for you, especially even at this age and this level, to make that adjustment.
Yeah. We see Bearden missed the first free throw. Rare miss for her there. And you have to take advantage of those times, being able to score and get the freebies from the free throw line. She gets the second one to go, making it a 17-25 ball game here. Just over a minute left to play in the first half. She's already got 3 3-pointers here in the first half. Give her her fourth. Lindsey Wilson shooting the ball well here for the Blazers. We're under the minute mark. I think the skill of the wings and the post players inside for the Blazers have really helped them because, you know, they don't have to throw it in the post and risk turnovers there, you know, with post players that can't take care of the ball, be able to read the defense, but also be able to knock down the mid-range and the short-range jumpers.
Exactly. You know, they've got players, every player out on their team that's on the floor is a complete player.
35 seconds left to play here in the first half. Good take there by Staples. Unfortunately, won't fall for her. It's an 11-point advantage here for the Blazers. Townsend over to Wilson. Looks like the Blazers going to hold for the last shot here. 4 seconds and counting. Maldonado going to put the three up. No good on the shot. So that will do it for the first half. Thanks for joining us here on Prospects Nation TV, and we'll catch you back here after halftime.
My bad, man. Are you good, bro? I saw you talking to me. Good move.
Cover down the middle, Simone. Run with her. Run with her. Run the corner. Run all the way to the corner.
When's our next one? 4:45. Is that third place, Heroes? Yes. Which Northwest team is this?
This is Blazers Black.
Hey, just, it's only coming in one.
Check, check, check. And we're about ready to get the second half started shortly.
Hey, come on, middle. Cover down the middle. Cover down, Maya. Middle.
And we're ready to get the second half rolling. It was a great first half, being able to see two disciplined and well-coached teams go at it. Chris Watkins joined me for the first half. I've got my right-hand man, though, J.L. Hemingway, with me for the second. Hemi, we talked about this matchup going into it in our pre-production talk, really about this matchup, and what are some of the things, if you don't mind reiterating for me, that you were really looking forward to seeing as far as these two teams? We've got a trip to the free throw line here for the Blazers. Missed by Pollock. Comes EOTO the other way. It's going to be finished there by Alexis Gant.
Jump it! Dominic, jump it! Jump it!
Gant's been a presence inside there for EOTO. Again, some very skilled players on the inside and on the wings for the Blazers.
Yeah, I like Gant's play. She's kind of come on late here for Coach Huffman and his EOTO squad. You know, good frame, and I know he's working with her to, to develop all of those offensive skills. But coming back the other direction, at the line here is number 25, Madison Pollock, completing the three-point play.
Pollock's bucket makes it a 19-31 ball game here in the second half. Plenty of time left in the second installment of this one. They get it inside to Gant. That shot partially blocked there. Good defense on behalf of Townsend. Checking back into the game for the Blazers going to be number 0, Jordan Basil, as Haley Turner has a seat.
Let's talk a little bit more about number 25 there in orange. That's Madison Pollock, Sonoma, Washington, just a 2016 prospect. 4-player, you see her facing up right here, got good size. You see her being able to finish it on the interior. Already given her verbal commitment to San Diego University. It's been a kid that's been on our radar with the JumpOutPlus.com for some time. Chris Hansen has evaluated her many times. You can see her, crashing the offensive glass. There's a lot to like about a kid like Pollock, because she's got that size, that skill, and the motor, all combined.
We've been able to see that on display here in this ball game. Players like Pollock have been a big reason why we've been able to see Lindsey Wilson have the success she's having from the outside. They've really been able to move the ball and take advantage of the pieces that they have on the wing and inside. A little bit of contact there. Blazers playing through it inside. Second attempt's no good. Sizemore comes away with the rebound. That pass intended for Gant, a little bit too far ahead.
Marcus, in the game of basketball, a lot of times we talk about space creators. Who can create space, when the defense is already set. We think about in the class of 2015, Taya Cooper, Asia Durr, are the names that come to mind about, that can create space. But on this floor here today, Pollock is a space creator because she can draw the defense to her and, like you say, open up space for shooters on the perimeter. If you're a spot-up shooter, like Wilson, you need, ways to get open, to shake free. Now, that can be setting a screen for you, away from the ball. But sometimes it can just be the simple post entry that causes that help to be able to get you that look on the perimeter.
We see Pollock with the strong take there. Making it a 19-33 ball game.
Space creator or just a space taker, however you want to define it right there. EOTO a little slow on their defensive assignments. And Pollock showing her skills to be able to put it on the floor to finish.
So a 14-point advantage here. We see Pollock with it again. She's in a nice groove. That one's off the back of the rim, though. Going to have a jump ball call. Possession arrow is going to keep it with EOTO. 11 minutes, 47 seconds left to play here in the second half. Holloman looking to get it in. He does so. Driving baseline here is Bearden. Has an orange wall there waiting on her as both Pollock and Shield Jessica converge on that block. It's just really been a frustrating game for EOTO, and like we talked about in the first half, I think, you know, aside from anything that Coach Ken Huffman is going to look back film-wise and want to correct, a lot of it has just been because of the Blazers and their efficiency.
And the one thing that I noticed right offhand, you know, all things being equal, the Blazers just have more length.
Yeah.
You know, Bearden is a long player herself, standing, you know, about 5'11". She drives the baseline right there. Normally that's a play that we've seen her make on Prospects Nation TV, you know, many times before, usually being able to shoot and score over smaller guards. She runs into Pollock, and I'm not sure if that was Turner or Townsend down there along the baseline, but that shot is blocked, and they don't even have to jump to block it. So
Yeah.
the Blazers, you know, not only skilled, fundamental, you know, playing within their role, you know, just have a physical edge here on EOTO so far.
We see the length wreaking havoc there on that possession. It was nearly a steal, but able to get a shot on goal there. And going to the free throw line is going to be Holloman. Holloman misses the first. Back into the game for the Blazers, number 50, Haley Turner. As Pollock going to get a much-deserved rest. Second free throw's no good. Still a 19-34 ball game. Just under 11 minutes left to play here in the second half. We're going to see a little bit of zone being played here by EOTO.
Just overall, Marcus, it's been just a tremendous opening 3 days of this second half of July. Summer Invitational, 88 teams, well over 100 schools and universities have checked in to check out the talent here. Here in Marietta, nice jumper there from the short corner by number 45. That's Jessica Schill. But overall, what a great opportunity for these young ladies and these teams to gain really ultimate exposure.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of places you'll go and you'll have to play at multiple venues, you know, or even at a place, you know, with maybe 12 courts or such, and there's a post feed inside the Hope Forester for EOTO. Everything under one building, 4 courts. Coaches can even stand up top and be able to check out games 4 at a time if need be.
Work hard.
21-38 ball game.
There you go.
9 minutes, 30 seconds and counting left to play in the ball game. This one for the Kyle Moore PSB Bracket Championship here at the Summer Invitational. Here's Johnson. Baseline cut off there from Locke. Back out to Johnson. And you know, early on, the Blazers were able to use a mixture of zones and just really changing their defenses up to kind of keep EOTO off guard. And it wasn't like EOTO took hurried shots, you know, started just throwing the ball around carelessly. You know, they're a very well-coached team by Coach Huffman. But again, it's just the Blazers really just doing their job and just staying the course. And EOTO, despite their patience at times, just being unable to crack through the surface.
And what a great example of what you're describing right there in that previous, you know, offensive possession. EOTO was patient, trying to run their dribble drive offense. Turnover here by the Blazers on the other end. But they were trying to slice into the gap, slice through. You know, Brianna Locke gets to the elbow, but there's just too much length, you know, down there underneath. You know, you look at this front line here. Number 50, Haley Turner, 6'1". 22, Jill Townsend, she's 5'11". 23, Isabella Hayden, 6'3". Number 43, Madeline Smith, she's 6'1". You know, there's 4 kids, you know, all right around the 6 foot area. long arms. It's going to make it's going to make anybody have a tough time to try to be able to score, you know, in that painted area.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not really painted here at all tournament, but you get the idea.
I do. Painted area in the paint, man, same difference. It's been something, it's been a place where the Blazers have been able to score. They've been able to score from the outside as well. Sizemore going to try to get that three-pointer to go. Can't get her first one of the second half.
And we talk about space creators, because the Blazers have the length on the interior and they have the shooters on the outside. You know, it frees them up a little bit to, you know, get more offensive rebounds, you know, get it to the lane, kick it out. For EOTO, however, when they try to get into the lane, they're not creating that help situation. And now, you know, shooters like Sizemore and Bearden are just not having the free looks that they need to be able to knock down those open jumpers.
We've got 7 minutes and 41 seconds left to play here in the ball game. 17-point advantage for the Blazers, and while it's not mathematically impossible, time definitely not on their side here. If they're going to make a move, definitely want to make it over the next few minutes or so.
We talked about this word a couple of days ago on the broadcast. We talked about momentum, and got to find a way to change the momentum. You got to do some good things, and you got to build upon it. You got to start building 2 or 3 good plays all in a row. I really think that it starts on the defensive end. You got to get defensive rebounds so you can start your transition game, start to get some easy buckets.
If you were to mention easy bucket to EOTO right now, they probably look at both of us like we were crazy, because these Blazers have not made anything easy or allowed anything easy to take place here on the defensive end here in this one. Good take there. Just another example. Strong drive there by Jessica Storr, took it right at the defender. And again, that length. Attack the middle of the body, still enough length to be able to block that shot. Turnover on the travel, so it'll stay with the EOTO, but Blazers defense continues to stifle, but here working hard, Carly Bearden getting a trip to the free throw line.
Nice footwork there by Bearden. Got the defender on her rear end, fake one way, up and under the other direction. Get an opportunity for 2 shots here.
Good on the first. Good on the second as well. 23-38 ball game. EOTO pulls it within 15. Getting away with the travel there was Townsend. Pollock back into the game for the Blazers. She's number 25 in the orange jerseys. Pollock weaves through and one.
And this is what I'm talking about. You need consecutive plays of good things to happen. You know, on one end, the EOTO gets, you know, draws the foul, gets a couple free throws. You got to come up with defensive stops. Not going to be able to cut into this lead if you don't prevent them from scoring, obviously.
Pollock has sat down a couple of minutes ago, got a breather, gets right back into the game. 3-point play to push the lead back to 18, 6:42 left to play. Sizemore gonna kick it over to Storr. Storr no good on the shot. Gant going over trying to save it, unable to keep it in bounds. Maldonado with it. Gonna get in the corner. Wilson gonna try another 3. Offensive rebound by the Blazers, so they'll pull it back out. They are in the driver's seat, have been for most of the game. Wilson going to be tied up there on that play. Jump ball will keep it with the Blazers. Once she had that ball knocked away and Alexis Gant for EOTO was on it, the best case scenario there would have been a jump ball. Would have been hard to get out of there with that ball with Gant.
Wow, what great offense there. That's give and go. That's Townsend to 25, Pollock. Whoever knew that you could do a give and go versus a zone? Well, we were shown that you could right there.
Good looking play in. This Blazers execution on both ends has been very precise.
Keep working, keep working, keep working.
They lead by 20. Nice defense there by Bearden. Knocks that ball away, gets it in the hands of Gant. Now Storr has it. Storr gonna kick to Sizemore. That's a good look for her. She splashes it through to make it a 26-43 ball game.
Sizemore, that's what she can do. She can knock down the long-range jumper. She gets her feet underneath her. Nice looking stroke there.
Pollock too strong on that three-pointer. Rebound by Bearden.
Got some coaches filing in for this PSB Summer Invitational. Just saw Baylor head coach Kim Mulkey coming to sit courtside here. Had several, you could say, big-name coaches come through the building here. Coach Mulkey being the latest. Gino Ariema in here yesterday. Holly Warlick the day before.
It's been a revolving door.
Got some former PSB Hall of Famers in here. Kayla Davis walking across. Current standout at Georgia Tech. That's Christina Nelson that she's talking to over there.
Funny how it all comes full circle.
It sure does. I can remember sitting right here almost in this exact spot nearly 4 years ago, watching the Georgia Ice play. Her and Lexi Brown, Christina Nelson, Jasmine Jenkins, who's at Vanderbilt. Seen lots of very good players play on this court, Marcus.
Plenty more to come. Those that are on it now have about 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to play here in this one. Advantage in favor of the Blazers. EOTO continuing to fight. They're only down 15. They've got a few three-point shooters at their disposal. We'll see if they can hit a couple trays and try to keep themselves here in this one. As Lyrica Holloman continues to attack the basket, she's had to pick her spots throughout this game. Drawing the foul there, she'll go to the line and shoot two. .345 left to play here on the game clock.
I think we got to tip our caps right here to the Northwest Blazers. They've come in, traveled from clear across the country, come out here with multiple teams in this program. Coach Cleese and all of his staff have done just a tremendous job of getting these girls out here prepared, ready to play. And you just love to see kids that play together. Nice jumper there by number 23. Isabel Hayden. You know, but anytime you can put a collection of players, not just one team together, but really a whole program full of prospects, and we'll get to see their so-called top team later tonight, the Northwest Blazers Orange, correct? Play versus DFW Elite, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Now I'm still getting to see this Northwest Blazers team. So when you put top team in air quotes with as good as this team is, are you telling me that there's a team that's regarded as better than these guys?
Well, I only say that because the majority of these kids on this black team now, you know, you've got several 2016 and 2017 prospects. His orange team primarily made up of 2015. So maybe top isn't the right word, but maybe older, his older group
Oh, yeah.
there.
And you
Lot-
kind of included that caveat with the way
Yeah.
that you packaged it, but just
Sure.
was just really saying that to give credit to this team and how they're really going to have a good program footprint when they leave Atlanta here this
Yeah,
week.
without a doubt. And, you know, you talk about the programs and programs of teams, and another great program that has come in to this tournament, of course, is San Antonio's Finest with Ray Caldwell bringing 3 teams in. And all of those kids, you know, they play together, and they know that, you know, they'll start out on the young team and they'll move up to the sophomore team, and by the time they get older, then they're playing, you know, on the so-called oldest top team or whatever the case may be. And that really brings continuity and consistency because now everybody's on the same page, and, you know, for the most part, you're playing with the same players from year in, year out. You got a system, a style of play that you like to play with. So with all that being said, you know, keeping everybody together and happy and fulfilling roles, a lot has to be said about the work that is done by Coach Cleese and all of his coaches there with the Northwest Blazers.
A pass intended for Maldonado there. Very tough spot for her to be able to catch that pass in. EOTO definitely do some credit with the way they've competed throughout this entire game. The way they've handled the pressure put on by the Blazers, but also the high level of efficiency the Blazers have played with. We haven't seen EOTO, buckle, panic. Maybe might not be the ideal outcome, but they're still within 11 points, despite how solid of a game it's been for the Blazers.
Yeah, all that talking that I did for the past couple minutes here, and we overlooked a couple of nice buckets by EOTO, but, you know, very quietly here in, you know, the northern Georgia area, Coach Ken Huffman's really doing the same thing with his program, you know, building it up, you know, now with multiple teams that he's bringing to these tournaments. You know, he's got his oldest group here with, you know, Bearden and Ashley Parker and Autumn Sizemore and Corey Staples, kids that have played with him, you know, for several years now, and the run's not over, and it hasn't been over for some time now. I can remember watching Jasmine Jenkins, you know, play with Coach Ken Huffman years and years ago out at one of our May Day events out there at the Georgia Tech University, back when we could host some of those tournaments out there, and Coach Huffman was obviously very instrumental in the development of Jazz and getting her to the level that she is now, that, you know, being a Lady Door at Vanderbilt University. And Coach Huffman just continues to do that, building great numbers with, you know, several younger prospects that are playing here this weekend.
This team trails by 11, a minute 30 left to play. Ball last touch by the Blazers. It'll go back over to EOTO. They're trying to speed things up. Stranger things have happened. But if you're EOTO, you know, to be able to even have a shot to get a couple threes, maybe get a couple turnovers, and have Lady Luck give her contribution as well, you have to be able to get some scores quickly.
Yeah.
You know, now is the time. I mean, you can't just come up and throw up a, you know, first opportunity three, but you don't really have time for patience at this point if you're trying to win the game.
Yeah, it's do or die time now, and you need so-called couple Hail Marys, if you will.
Yeah.
You're gonna need some quick penetrating pitches right here. Get into the lane, throw it back behind you, maybe a couple of cross quarters. Find somebody, you know, spotting up. See what they got up their sleeve here.
Here's Sizemore. Gets it to Store to Bearden. It's a good look right there.
That was the look that they wanted.
Yeah. Maldonado with a little shifty move. Can't get the layup to go. The last touch by EOTO, so it'll stay with the Blazers. 1 minute, 1 second left to play in this one. Turner has to go chase it down, gets it to Maldonado. Coach Cleese going to get a timeout. Coach Cleese and Coach Soliday.
Yeah, under a minute here, and that was exactly the type of look that Coach Huffman wanted coming out of that timeout. A little dribble weave, got into the lane, and did exactly what we were talking about. Drew the defense in, kicked it out to Bearden. She got a good look, shot it well. Nice form, and just rimmed out. And now the next thing that you got to do is you got to figure out a way to get a trap, get a steal, maybe a quick layup, get a timeout or a foul right after.
56.6 on the clock. They get it to Turner. That play results in a Townsend trip to the free throw line. This team comprised of a mixture of players from Washington as well as Idaho.
You know, and overall, the entire program even has a couple of kids from Oregon as well, so a true Northwest corridor.
I wonder if they took the Oregon Trail to get here.
Let's hope not.
I'm sure nobody remembers that game. I'm sure some people out there do, but nobody that's playing in this game is probably going to they'll probably remember the significance of the trail, but not the game itself.
I never actually played the game, but I was a high school history teacher, so I always taught about the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
I heard about the game.
That was back in the day with just that game was only available in black and green screen.
Yes. Yes.
I think floppy disks were still relevant.
That's right.
Working on the offensive glass, still trying to finish the job there, Jill Townsend.
Townsend's a good-looking prospect, 2017 kid, 5'11". She's going to be one to watch and track for some time now, Marcus.
Hard to believe. You got to do a double take at the roster when you look at how this Blazer team plays. But again, credit to Coach Huffman and EOTO. Played hard the entire game. They fall just short here. Thanks for joining us here on Prospects Nation TV. I'm Marcus Burnett. He's J.L. Hemingway. We'll see you here for our last three webcasts starting at 4:40. I want to see if I can see the Jada Davenport I heard about. Yeah. Where? Okay, yeah. Hey, Gino, asshole.
Oh, you fresh, ain't you? I said you fresh, ain't you? I see you.